News.
Just hours before police shot and killed the suspect, we have learned officers took her to a nearby hospital.
First Alert 6, Philip Katafamo was following the timeline of the final few hours of her life.
Early Monday morning, Omaha police responded to this QuikTrip gas station in the area of 32nd and L for a domestic disturbance call. Officers spoke with Noemi Guzman, who claimed she had been assaulted and had some injuries on her arm. At the time, she declined to go to the hospital, and officers documented the incident. The following day, OPD and Guzman met again.
They're requesting 2 officers to respond with fire. Says there is a bald male rep at this location that's been hostile and argumentative with fire and rescue personnel and police officers. We're going out for a female 32, difficulty breathing.
Tuesday morning, the day of the kidnapping, OPD responded to this complex in the area of 97th and Mockingbird for another domestic disturbance call.
Caller now saying boyfriend, Hispanic male, 31, assaulted her, bruises. Now says possibly needed medical, but medical is on their way.
OPD tells First Alert 6 Guzman showed officers similar injuries to the day before. She was checked at the scene, and OFD ruled there was no reason to transport her. However, OPD offered to take her down to the closest hospital, Bergen Mercy.
Yeah, we'll be transporting a female to Bergen.
During check-in at Bergen, OPD says Guzman mentioned suffering from mental health issues and said she was up on her medication. After some time, OPD says Guzman changed her mind. Per OPD protocol, since she was there for a medical reason and not mental health, she was allowed to leave. Minutes later, and a half-mile away, her life would come to an end.
Squad. Helping officer, Walmart, 1606 South 72nd. Helping officer at the Walmart, 1606 South 72nd.
I need 2 squads, one for the victim to be shot and the 2 that got cut.
Reporting in Omaha, I'm Philip Katafamo, First Alert 6.
All right, thanks for that report, Philip. Meantime, Omaha police tell us before this week they did not interact with Guzman since 2024 when she allegedly set fire to her father's home and then destroyed the inside of a Catholic church. She was found not responsible by reason of insanity and was put on a mental health treatment plan for her schizophrenia.